So good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Malini. I'm a faculty member at Administrative Staff College of India, and on behalf of my organization, I welcome all the delegates to today's webinar. As you know, ASCI has launched the Change Management Forum, which is a peer learning network, peer learning platform for practitioners. This Change Management Forum is started with an objective to support the implementation of reforms in Indian urban water and sanitation sectors. The CMF aims to provide support through providing networking opportunities, through research, sharing research findings, customized information and knowledge support, building partnerships, etc. Many of you have reached out to us for membership. We are grateful to you. We are just working out the contours of the membership. We need another couple of weeks and we will reach out to each one of you who's written to us and all the members who are there in today's webinar and the previous webinar as well. So as part of the bouquet of services under the Change Management Forum, we have the leadership webinars. The first in the series of this webinar was held last month. It was on 24/7 water supply is achievable in urban areas, and we had some wonderful presentations. Of course, we took a historical perspective of how 24/7 has been evolving in India and what are some of the best practices, leading practices to learn from. We had presentations from Odisha, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and also global experiences shared. In today's webinar, we are going to focus on removing the entry barriers for the poor and vulnerable for achieving universal access to household water tap connection. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers and we will introduce them to you shortly. Sharon, can you go to the next slide, please? So there's a lineup and I will request Professor Chari later on to introduce them briefly to you. Next, please. Next one. Yeah, thank you. So just want to share with you that today the webinar, of course, many of you have joined here in the Zoom platform, but it's also being played live on YouTube and there are many participants there. I welcome all the participants from the different countries who are attending this. And it's fabulous to see that majority of the participants are government officials from 14 countries across the world. And we do hope this network keeps growing. Next slide. I also take this opportunity to announce next month's webinar, which would be the third in the series. The next webinar would be on innovative technologies for effective waste management. This would also be followed by an exhibition in the month of January in Hyderabad, and we will reach out to you where you can come and see the innovations, interact with the innovators, and see how you can implement them in your cities and states. If you by any chance missed the last webinar, then that is available on the YouTube link. Just go to YouTube channel of urban_ASCI. Or you can write to us, we'll be happy to share the recording with you. Next, please. So with that, I'm going to request my senior colleague and director of the Center of Environment and Urban Governance, ASCI, Professor Chari, to share with us the types of barriers and the gravity of these barriers for us to achieve universal access to household water tap connections, and also to briefly introduce the speakers as he goes by and set the context for today's webinar. So over to you, Professor Chari.
Thank you, Dr. Malini. Can you hear me? Just to
yes, yes.
Perfect. So thank you, friends. Thank you for joining, and I would like to particularly thank Ram and Mr. Mukherjee, as well as Dr. Richard Francis and all the other panelists, Ms. Natasha, for joining at a very short notice. Now, the theme of today's discussion of having individual water tap connection at home is extremely relevant as we speak particularly from the national mission, Jal Jeevan Mission, as we say, because the Jal Jeevan Mission is primarily promoting a unique mission, which is promoting individual water tap connection. It is no longer right to water, but right to tap connection at home. And that's what we understand from the draft. And there is a very ambitious plan of rolling out by 2024. Every household in urban areas would have access to a tap connection with quality water. Now, having said that, there is no need to discuss, or it's actually needless to say, the benefits of having individual water tap connection. It's a no-brainer. However, I just like to amplify that this is not something that is discussed now. It's actually discussed way back in 1949. One of the the major committees constituted at the national level by Government of India, wherein it has articulated some of the key benefits, which we continue to discuss even now. Having a tap at home is not only a convenience, it saves time, it is economic benefits, it reduces drudgery for women and girls, it reduces losses, it actually reduces non-revenue water because we phase out public stand posts. It also brings in greater accountability. So these benefits are not something that we need to research, continue to research. It's already been researched in 1949 and clearly articulated some of these benefits. Now, having said that, what is a ground reality? And that's where I think the studies carried out by us very, very important to highlight. And that's where I think this conversation is all about. When we looked at a data set of 140 plus cities, we found that the household access to individual tap connection, it means tap at home, is about 51%. While we say access to water as 90+%, India has done a phenomenal progress. But if you look at the data set, it's about just about 50-51% in terms of having a tap at home. Now, similar analysis is done by several studies, including the National Sample Survey, which said over 90% of the poor in urban areas do not have access to tap connection at home, but they depend on public stand posts and hand pumps. Now, this, if we want to demystify this, we need to look from the lens of a typical engineering perspective. And I would like to bring to you how a municipal engineering looks at this problem of household, of this coverage. Typically, we have what is called a physical coverage. It means the network is provided with, which is also called network coverage or physical coverage. And then we have what is called household coverage. Now, every household in this domain of physical coverage need not be connected to an individual tap connection. In fact, many households are not connected to this physical coverage, and that's why the numbers are a little low. That's why the numbers are around 51% from the data set that we looked at. So it means, what are they doing? If they're not connected to a network, it doesn't mean they don't get water, but they depend on a shared connection, or they may have, some of them may have illegal connections, but majority of them, especially the poor, are on public stand posts. And that's exactly what Tara ma'am and the national mission is going to change this scenario. And to change this scenario, we need to really understand some of the roadblocks for changing this scenario. And that's what Orissa has done. And that's what Chhattisgarh has done. And we need to promote this across all 36 states and union territories. Now, let me also present to you some data set. This is live. These are 3 prominent cities, very popular, ODF++, national recognition. They're very nice cities, model cities. But I would like to look from the lens of water in this case. Now, this city 1 has 48,000 households, but they have 9,700 connections, coverage of 20%. And the municipality and the public health engineering department has declared these cities as 100% coverage, and this data also got reported in the 15 Finance Commission portal, because there is a service level benchmarking reporting system that we have. Now, what happens to the remaining population households? How are they managing? As I said, it could be they are dependent on the neighbor's tap. The same tap is shared between multiple families, but equally important, these cities have a number of public standposts. However, it is classified as covered. Now, this has to change if you want to have individual tap connection. Now, to understand how to change, what we did was, and this is what we would like to share with all of you post this webinar, we scanned the data, the policies and procedures of house water tap connection of all 36 states and union territories. And we could locate 34 states have policies or procedures or government orders on individual tap connection. That's good news. But when we start analyzing the data, when we start reading these orders, we found 5 critical barriers. We need to address these barriers as part of our reform agenda under the national program, as well as part of our commitment to sustainable development goals. First and the foremost one is high connection cost. We often call it as entry fee. Now, the cost of connection, when we looked at the cost of connection data from these government orders, it has a very interesting set of connection cost. There's an application fee, there's a registration fee, there is a major component called donation, which is basically donation for capex recovery. Then there's a meter cost wherever it is feasible. There's a road excavation cost, labor charges, pipeline charges, and security deposit. Some of the states ask for security deposit of 3 months of the tariff as advance to get access to connection. So if you add up all these costs, it varies from state to state and city to city. But by and large, if you add up all these costs, it is coming to about 15,000 rupees or more as an average connection cost for an individual to gain access to a tap connection in the cities, in urban and urban areas. I'm not talking about rural. Now, interestingly, there is a state variation, like Odisha has 100 rupees as a connection. Tripura has 0 charge, first time charge. Mizoram has 500 rupees, but actual road cutting charges, which could vary from 7,000 to 10,000. Andhra Pradesh and Jharkhand have 7,000 rupees as plus actual cost of road cutting pipeline charges. It can go up to 20,000 if you add up all that. So this is one entry barrier for individuals to access connection. Now, this entry barrier, some states have thoughtfully have addressed for the poor. 14 out of 36 states and union territories have notified what is called pro-poor connection cost policies. This is important for us to look at. So we have the whole data set of which state has what is a connection cost for the poor. For example, Andhra Pradesh is 7,000 rupees is a connection for the APL families, but 200 rupees for the BPL families. Likewise, Tripura has 0 charge for both APL as well as BPL charges. Whether it is right or wrong, that's not the debate, but they have addressed the entry barriers for the poor on the connection cost. Rajasthan has a different data set. You have to deposit 3 months of advance tariff as an entry point, for gaining access. So there is a variation. Good news is that 14 out of 36 states have already introduced pro-poor connection cost policies. This data needs to be validated again and again, but this is the data which we compiled pretty recently from various sources. The second important barrier, friends, and this is another area where we need to address as part of the reform agenda, is the procedural and documentation related barriers. Now, there are tedious procedures and documentation requirements which hinder the poor to gain access to tap connection. For example, we need to have application form, address proof, resident proof. In some cases, they call it as NOC from certified plumbers. Goa request for affidavit on a stamp paper, floor-wise plan, property tax is a uniform requirement, NOC certificate if the applicant is a tenant. So these are complicated procedures sometimes. can hinder the progress we envisage, the accelerated progress that we envisage in the days to come. So we need to sort of simplify these procedures. I will come to some of the recommendations later part, but that's not, and the recommendations will come from today's discussion and from Mati sir as well as Tara ma'am and Dr. Richard and all of us. The third important aspect which I would draw attention to as a barrier for the poor is the land tenure issue. Now, considerable ambiguity is currently prevailing on issuing water connection for non-notified slums. Most states that we have researched do not have a clear policy procedure on right to water tap, which is dealing from land tenure. To some extent, Swachh Bharat Mission tried to delink toilet and land tenure issue. I think we are fairly successful. I think we need to sort of have a delinking mechanism of land tenure and water tap connection. This is another reform, probably it's already thought through, but I'm just highlighting the information from the ground. Fourth roadblock, and which can be easily addressed, is access to credible information with regard to connections. How do I get connection? Most of them, we scanned all of the data. Information is scanty right now. Aggressive dissemination is required, which is not missing, which is missing currently. Online application is available for some states and some municipalities, but even now in-person application for connection is a requirement. Online payment is all right with regard to the tariffs, but when it comes to new connection, there is in-person contact which can be, so no single window system or own your tap campaigns are not properly done in this case. So the typical time for gaining connection is in the range of 30 to 90 days officially, which is, I think is not a decent timeline. I think it can be shrunk quite a bit. Finally, weak incentives to connect the poor. Municipalities have no credible incentives to serve the poor because the incremental cost expenditure for every new connection they give, a municipality gives, they lose money. So there's no clear incentives, and states, most of them, and national level fiscal incentives are very, very important on the connections. I'm sure JJ Mission has thought about it. It's already articulated as an outcome-based incentive. So, but more or less states have not incentivized the municipalities and local governments to serve the poor. Chhattisgarh is an exception where they provide 3,000 rupees. They used to provide 3,000 rupees for every new connection they give it to a BPL family as a state incentive for the municipality. So if I give 100 connections this month, I get 100 into 3,000 rupees as a state incentive, so that municipalities have an incentive to serve the poor, which covers the road cutting charges and pipeline charges. This is the same situation even for metropolitan cities. So we have the data set of all the gel boards, the Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore. So they too have certain complicated processes which we can, which needs to be addressed. Now, this is not an academic conversation. Some of the states in the past have addressed these problems. All the 5 problems that I discussed. This is no longer academic. In fact, in 2009, Chhattisgarh government has introduced what is called Jal Jeevan, the Bhagirathi Jal Jeevan Yojana, which was primarily aimed to simplify the procedures, delinking land tenure and connection cost, paying 3,000 rupees as an incentive to serve the poor, campaigns at each and every gully and mohalla level as own your tap campaigns, simplifying the procedures for slum areas. So there are examples, there are great examples of the past, and now we have recent examples of Chhattisgarh, Orissa is doing it at a statewide. In fact, you would be happy to know about a simple policy has enabled 2.5 lakh connections in 1 year. It started in Durg, and then it scaled up, Bhilai and Durg, and then it got scaled up across the state, 2.5. So a policy of delinking land tenure, a policy of incentivization, a policy of simplifying, giving new connections can catch like wildfire, and that's what has happened. And individuals have taken with a metered connection with a tariff, the poorest of the poor. This is the story of 2010-11. Now things have changed. Things are much better now. Orissa and other states have set an example. I close my opening remarks by saying that when a mobile has a process, mobile connection, despite having security issues, they have simplified the process so much that poorest of the poor can have access to a mobile connection. There is no tariff or there is no connection cost on the SIM in India. It's all built in the tariff. Can't we think on the same lines? Can't we simplify it? I know that water infrastructure is a lumpy investment. Cost recovery is important, but why cost recovery only from the poor? Can't we have a better mechanisms, national mechanisms, international mechanisms, where we financially sustainable the operation and maintenance and O&M, but also remove these entry barriers? That's a conversation today. It's a little longish introduction, but I think it's important to give the story about this cost of connection and the barriers for the poor to become universal access to tap connection.